of this verdict
In the Superior Court of Barrow County, State of Georgia versus Colin Grey, case number 24-CR-593-P, jury verdict. Count 1, murder in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 2, cruelty to children in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 3, murder in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 4, cruelty to children in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 5, involuntary manslaughter, unfaithful act. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 6, reckless conduct. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 7, involuntary manslaughter, unlawful act. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
Defense maintained this entire time that Colin Grey had no idea that Colt was living a double life, both digitally and in the privacy of his bedroom. They said that Colin was a father, a single father, trying to raise 3 children, working as hard as he could to make sure that the life for his kids was as best as possible. But there were so many witnesses that came to the stand that really were the opposite of that and really painted a different picture, showing
3 Sites Podcast. And I need to talk to y'all. I need to know, as y'all saw, should we charge the parents now with murder charges when the kids do the murdering? Is this a new trend? This is the 3rd time in U.S. history that a parent has been charged. He was a single dad. You understand? Colin Grey, 55 years old, life is ruined. 3 kids. He bought the guns to try to bond with the kids for hunting. They would go hunting. They would, some people love their guns and they get their kids a gun for themselves. But this young boy was only 14 years old. Dad was 55. He just got convicted on 29 counts. I need to know, should he go to jail for 30 years? Because his son killed 4 people, 2 adults and 2 kids. September 4th in 2024 in Georgia. A heinous crime. And the son is still waiting to be sentenced. I need to know, is this right? Should the parents be on the hook for all the murders that their kids do? And as a loving parents, we miss the signs because we love our kids so much. We missed what we can't sometimes, we blinded by love. The love for the child. A love for a child will blind the parents. I can easily look from the outside and say, yo, you should have saw that. You should have did this. Yo, I would have. But when it comes to the parents, that's an unconditional love. And to a fault. Because look what happened. Colin Grey is about to do 30 years possibly. And he wasn't the trigger man. But what's more disturbing was 3 days before this shooting and crime, federal law enforcement came to the house because this young boy was threatened to shoot up the school, and then they contacted law enforcement and they came to the house and they interviewed him. They had the threats. They saw the gun. Why didn't y'all take the gun? Why should the dad be more responsible and the law enforcement drop the ball? And how did the school bus driver not see the rifle? What's going on? You understand what I'm saying? The law enforcement was there in the house 3 days before this heinous, unmerciful crime happened. Y'all interviewed the kid. Y'all interviewed him. Y'all interviewed the dad, and y'all didn't even find no probable cause to take the gun. can we sit here and say the dad should have saw it? Jury? And don't get me wrong. I understand. But young boy, young man got to do the time and do the crime. Why get the daddy on 30 years? Maybe he couldn't see the signs. Maybe he could not see the signs. Should the dad go to jail for 30 years? I need y'all to tell me. I need y'all to talk this one to me. Because I would rather the son do his time and go to jail and be responsible for his crime. But now, are we going to lock up and go after every parent now that kids does a crime? Because sometimes these parents try to get their kids help or try to talk to them, and we don't see all that behind the scenes. God bless all those who got killed in that shoot, those 4 people who got killed. I'm not taking nothing this away because the young man is going to do his crime. He's still alive. He's going to do crime. But why convict the dad when the law enforcement was there and didn't find anything wrong? So law enforcement, you didn't think to take the gun after just threats alone? Should have snatched the gun. Can't have that. That's it. So the dad didn't see nothing wrong because y'all didn't find nothing wrong. I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. You understand me? I need y'all to talk to me because this is happening a lot. And I know there's parents out there that are dealing with troubled kids that try to talk, that try to intervene. So we don't know what behind the scenes this dad was trying to do. They said he was a single dad trying to bond with 3 kids in a different way. And one of the ways will go hunting with the gun. It was for hunting. Again, families destroyed, nobody wins. But I need to know, because I'm torn on this. I'm actually torn on this because the young man is going to do time. He's going to do time for the murders. But now they convicted the dad. We got to chill out here, jury. All counts? I can see for child neglect, but y'all putting the murders on the daddy's hands? Should the murder be on the father's hands? Talk to me, right? Talk to me. Talk to me. This is only going to be the 3rd time in U.S. history. The other parents from the Michigan shooting got 10 to 15 years. Now this one looked like he going to get cooked. They're gonna cook him. Like that burger on the grill at the cookout, which you want extra crispy. No red in the middle. Keep turning it and smashing it until it's cooked all the way. Damn. Should he be sentenced? Talk to me. 55 years old. 55 years old. They said the dad ignored the warning signs. Now, yes, he has some responsibility because if that was my son that threatened to shoot up the school and I'm going to do this to the school, I would have snatched the gun immediately. I would have snatched the gun immediately. I would have said, yo, you bugging. Don't you ever do that again. And he probably said, no, Dad, I was just joking, Dad. Y'all know how the kids manipulate the parents. And don't sit up here and think that y'all never was manipulated as parents. Especially if that's your favorite son. Favorite child. It's easy to be manipulated as parents. You understand what I'm saying? For real. Yes, the dad should have some responsibility, but not all the murders, man. 29 counts. Wow. Wow, it only took 2 hours. That means y'all went in there with a preconceived notion of guilty already. It only took 2 hours. And I understand the families that, loved ones that was murdered in that shooting, right? People, we have to be careful here with putting the parents and blaming the parents for everything that the kids does. because we really don't know how they tried to help behind the scenes. He could have smooth talked his way out of there. Yeah, Dad, I ain't gonna do that. No, I was just joking. But the federal authorities was there, and they didn't find nothing either. They didn't take the gun. They interviewed the dad and the son. So you understand, if he could get past the authorities and butter them up, you know he gonna butter the dad up. 14 years old, probably look harmless. I think we got this one wrong. What do y'all think? Talk to me. Did we get this one wrong? Should this 55-year-old dad be held responsible for the murders of the Georgia shooting September 4th, 2024, that just got sentenced and charged? I'm split. I'm torn. Some responsibility, but not all the murder responsibilities. Let the son do that. Let the son do that. You know what I mean? And to the future of all you dads out there that likes to bond with your son with guns. I got a cousin who do that too. Buy the kids guns and go out with them, let them target, shooting. People love their gun rights. I think y'all need to really look at this case. Talk to your kids. If you see any signs of trouble in your kids, any mental instability, snatch them guns. I know down there in Georgia and in them southern states, y'all play with them toys. Y'all play with them hammers. I understand. That's a way of life for y'all. You understand me? You know, hunting and shooting in the woods and have your guns, you know, your kids go out shooting with you. That's a bonding moment. That's what this dad got the gun for. It went terribly wrong, man. Terribly wrong. So y'all need to talk to your kids. Look at your kids' mental. If any signs of instability, snatch the guns away. Matters of fact, all guns should be kept in a locked box. Locked up. Right? You ain't getting the gun unless you go through the dad or the mama that y'all gonna go do it for. Let's do that. Protect yourselves, dads and moms, so y'all don't get caught up in whatever your kids decide to go do. You understand me? Because now people look into your home and point out all the fingers of all the things that you should have did. And it's easy to point from a distance. You understand me? So God bless the people, the 4 people that got killed, the 2 kids, the 2 adults, and that school murder. Dad, I don't think this was your intention. I feel sorry for you. Your son, he needs to face his crime. Nobody wins. Nobody wins.